Are you ready for News and Brews, showcasing the innovations that make plastics manufacturing more efficient, sustainable, and eco-friendly? It's Plastech West correspondent Chris Lukey.
All right. I'm going to be honest. I am stoked for this interview. I have been looking forward to this interview even before it was scheduled because coincidentally, maybe not coincidentally, I am here with someone that I got to know a long time ago while I worked at Rockwell Automation, while we worked at Rockwell Automation. And the funny thing is, we were recording videos back in 2016 before it was cool on an iPhone. And since then, this individual has gone on from being a solutions architect at one of the largest automation companies in the world to being the co-founder of Kanavu Automation, a leading industrial robotic system integrator and custom machine builder based in the San Francisco Bay Area. Vinod Anandarajah, welcome to News and Brews.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
It's good to have you back here. And I think where we want to start is I always love good startup stories. So I'd love to hear, what was the origin story of Kanavu Automation?
Yeah, how long have we been in this industry, Chris? It's been 16 years for me.
Yeah, probably 14 for me, so 30 years of collective experience.
Yeah, so so I worked at Rockwell for 10 years, and at the end of that, I had an important fork in the road. So I had an opportunity to either go up in Rockwell within the global marketing organization, or I had an opportunity to work for Apple as a manufacturing engineer, and I chose the tech route. So it was an awesome experience for me. I was flying overseas all the time, business class, lounges, taking naps on the plane, 5-star hotels. However, I was traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And
emphasis on flying all the time. Yes, it was luxurious, but it was constant.
Yeah, it was every month. So, I was having a grand old time, but my wife was not. So
sure,
you've met my wife. She's small but feisty. So she was like, "Listen, buddy, this isn't working out right here." She said, "Look, if you're going to be working 16 hours a day, why don't you just start your own business?" And at the time, I was, really scared about it. Like starting my own business, that's a big thing, and I had a lot of excuses. And her being the feisty one, she literally pushed me over the edge, or maybe she kicked me over the edge. I really don't remember how it went down, but I just started with a laptop and went out there consulting. Doing automation, complex machine programming, and then brick by brick, just started hiring engineers, and now we're doing a UL 508A panel shop and custom machine building in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I love the story. I love how you told the story as well. And one other thing I want to dig into then, since you are a business owner now, you took the leap, you got kicked off the cliff, as you were saying. What is something that you learned at Rockwell and or Apple that has helped you in your role today as a business owner?
Yeah, I would say the main thing is just getting different perspectives, right? At Rockwell, getting perspectives at, we work with a lot of different end users, OEMs, integrators, distributors, and then at Apple, really like that mass production, that mass scale, how does that all work? Really it was just the perspective. What I wasn't prepared for is you're working for these big companies, and then you have to humble yourself. Okay, now let's just build this brick by brick, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I find very interesting about how your company has evolved, it was you and a laptop at first, and now you've started specializing into certain areas, and we're here at IME West. We're also talking things specific to Plastech West as well. And one of the areas that you've started doubling down on is injection molding. How did you get focused in that area? Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, injection molding. Interestingly, I got a degree in mechanical engineering at Michigan, and one of my final projects was injection molding. So we designed injection mold from start to finish, and that helps, understanding the process and then having to automate that. So and as a company, it's about 25% of our business, where we're helping injection molding companies to automate load, unload, and different functions in their process.
Yeah, and one thing, because something you've told me about your business is you started doing tray loading for injection molding, for example. How does that part work? Give us a bit of 101 in that area.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different applications within plastics automation, but there's tray loading, where you're loading, you're picking the parts out of the injection mold and loading and unloading that. The second part is tray filling. So we have a robotic system that actually does 100% inspection, so that you don't have to manually inspect every part, but it's going through a 3D scanner, and then you have a robot that is placing it into the trays. So when you walk through these facilities, you still see a lot of manual operations. So this is just helping. People can't find enough labor right now, so it's really helping to automate that process.
Now, one thing you told me is the companies you work with are asking, and you were just talking about it, you're talking about inspection, things like that. Companies are asking you for more than just doing the tray filling, for example. Why this expanded scope? What's going on in the industry that you feel is resulting in this ask?
Yeah, I would say like one of the industries in the plastics is the plastics manufacturers trying to differentiate themselves from just doing injection molding and actually offering more services. So they've been doing this for a while, but some of them are manual operations. So we call it the secondary operation. So after you mold it, you might do pad printing, where you're dipping something in ink and actually putting a logo on a part. You might be doing laser marking. You might be doing ultrasonic cutting, where you're cutting the gates off of parts, labeling. So there's a ton of other operations. And so what we've created is a modular plug-and-play tray filling manufacturing line, where customers can choose which modules they want to use. And it's a plug-and-play line where you can put that on the plastics manufacturing floor. And that really helps with what their initiatives and trends are.
Well, I appreciate the insight into why you've been focusing on this space, what you're seeing in that space. A couple other questions since we've got a little bit more time left. When you and I started recording videos like 7 years ago, we were talking about automation solutions like lightly managed switches. We were talking about when to select a managed switch versus the lightly managed switch. Since you're one of the top voices in automation and automation trends and technologies that are practical and pragmatic that I know. Are there any that you're excited about that you want to share as well?
Yeah, there's so much. Us being a small company, we leverage a lot of the new tech out there. One of them is a partner of ours is Vention. And, Vention's really changing the game because, our strength was software initially. And when we wanted to pivot from consulting to machine building, we looked at Vention's offering of like, hey, let's not close this to ourselves. Let's open a cloud portal with all the mechanical pieces that we can choose from. And we're able to add our value and our IP to that platform. So that's a game-changing, cloud-based CAD platform. Another thing is AI vision cameras. We're using a ton of those, and instead of having to invest in AI ourselves, we're able to partner with others who have, AI bin picking cameras, things like that is really changing the game on what automation can do today.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I wanted to ask that is in a lot of our interviews today, some people are here for ATX West. Some people are here for Westpac, for example. But what we've been seeing in a lot of our conversations is, there's a lot of overlap. You basically covered ATX West, Plastech West in that comment right there. So a lot of overlap. That's why an event like this in this day and age is so important. I've just got one more question for you, and I kind of know the answer to this already, but I want you to share it with the audience. It's like, what does Kanavu mean, and how did you come up with the name of the company?
Yeah, good question. So Kanavu, it means dream, and it's in our language Tamil. So my wife and I are Tamil, and although I'm born in Baltimore, so I can barely pronounce it myself. But it's a tribute to our parents. My parents came from civil war in Sri Lanka. Tanusha's parents came from apartheid in South Africa, and it's really a tribute to them. End of the day, it means dream. So we're helping our customers build their dream automation systems.
I love it. It's a great story. I appreciate you jumping on with us today, Vinod. I think since we've done this for so long, grab the mug. We got to end with a little cheers here.
Cheers.
Thanks for jumping on News and Brews. We'll be back with more interviews very soon.
Thanks, Chris.